Hello growers, I'm Dr. MJ Coco from CocoForCannabis.com. We publish articles, tutorials, and guides on the science and practice of growing cannabis. Today I'm excited to test and review the brand new Mars-Hydro FC-E6500. This is a truly innovative fixture. It has industry-leading efficiency, and you can reposition the bars in any position along the frame. Mars-Hydro recommends two different layouts with arrows on the frame pieces, but the bars slide freely along the frame and can be secured in almost any arrangement. I've been waiting for manufacturers to make adjustable bar arrays like this, and I had fun playing with it. The FC-E6500 outperformed the popular FC-6500 in my tests. It's clearly an upgrade, yet it costs significantly less. If you're looking to light a 5x5 space, the new Mars-Hydro FC-E6500 is an excellent choice. In this review, I'll do an unboxing, show the simple assembly process, and run it through 4 different par tests. We'll have a lot of fun analyzing the par maps and thinking about the best position for the bars. I tested it in both of the bar positions that Mars-Hydro recommends, but I think we can crowdsource an even better setup for this fixture. Stick around to learn how you can suggest how the bars should be arranged, and possibly win the FC-E6500 that I'm testing. Grow light par testing is part of the Coco for Cannabis Grow Light Guide. Our goal is to educate growers about horticultural lighting. You can read our grow light articles, try the grow light calculator, browse the grow light test reports, and find all our grow light discount codes. You support our work when you follow our links and use our codes when you shop for grow lights. The Mars-Hydro FC-E6500 arrived in a large plain box, but it was smaller than I expected. I expected it would be similar style as the FC-6500 that I tested a couple months ago, which was a large foldable bar array. When this box showed up, I actually thought that they sent me the wrong light. But I learned that one of the big changes between the FC and FC-E series is that the FC-E comes disassembled. The LED bars feel nice and solid, and I'm immediately intrigued by the distribution of diodes along the bar. The diodes are very densely packed at each end. I prefer fixtures that disassemble to those that fold. It allows them to save on shipping, which lowers the cost, and it allows more flexibility in the design. These frame pieces are sleek, lightweight aluminum. So far I'm impressed. There are a total of 6 bars. The FC-6500 has 8 bars, but there are more diodes along each of these, and they can be repositioned. Below the bars and frame we have the rest of the gear. User manual, power cord, the octopus cable, which looks like fun. Under here we have the driver, and over here we have the hardware kit and a hanging kit. I'll spread everything out so we can take a closer look. We have a frame piece, the 6 LED bars, and the driver. The second frame piece will go on this side, and the octopus cable will connect to each of the LED bars. This is what provides the flexibility to adjust their position. The driver is from Moso. It is model number X6600M060A12. I do not have any previous experience with Moso drivers. They claim to have great efficiency, but we'll have to see how it performs during the tests. Like the other Mars-Hydro fixtures, there is a control box with a continuously adjustable dimmer, ports to daisy chain fixtures together, and an on-off switch. This mounting plate allows you to put the driver on top of the LED bars. The width of the plate is adjustable to accommodate the fact that you may reposition the bars. However, they provide plenty of cable, which allows you to put the driver elsewhere. The FC-E series is focused on improving the distribution of light. The bars can be repositioned along the frame, and along each bar, Mars-Hydro also moves diodes away from the center and toward the ends. In the middle of the bars, there are relatively fewer diodes. At each end of the bars, the diode concentration is very dense. As you can see, there are a ton of diodes. Each bar hosts 663 diodes, which gives the FC-E6500 a total of 3,978 diodes. That's over 6 diodes per watt. The frame pieces are simple and sleek. In each frame you will find 4 of these nuts to attach the bars. They slide freely inside the track. Along the edge they indicate recommended placement positions with green arrows. There are actually 8 arrows, but only 6 bars. They're showing 2 different potential setups. The 8 arrows are in these locations. Position 1 uses all of the arrows except for 2 and 7. It's a more standard arrangement of bars. However, the gaps between the bars are not even. There are larger gaps between the bars in the middle than at the top and bottom. Position 2 is a more radical arrangement. It uses all of the arrows except for 3 and 6. 2 bars are close together on the top and bottom, and the other 2 bars are spaced out in the middle. I will test it in both of these positions, but there are almost infinite possibilities. Let me show you how to put it together. It may seem complicated, but it's actually a really easy assembly. I'm going to set it up in position 1. The first step is simply to lay the first 4 bars into position. The final 2 bars will attach to each end. This little bag contains all the hardware to put it together. No tools are required. We have thumb screws with wingtips to attach all the bars, end caps which fit on the end of the frame pieces and hold the final 2 bars, nuts, washers, and eye bolts for the hanging assembly, and these little screws will secure the driver to the LED bars, if you want to do that. You just line up the bars over the sliding nuts that I showed you in the frame pieces, and use a wingtip thumb screw to secure them in place. While the screw is loose, you can adjust the position of the bar, and then tighten it down to lock the bar in place. There's not much to it. Everything fits together really well. We have to attach eye bolts to create hanging points. Just take one of the rectangle nuts, put a washer on it, and then start screwing in the eye bolt. Once it's connected, lift the washer to create a gap. The nut slides into the end of the frame, and the washer rests on top. Slide it to your desired position, and then twist the eye bolt to tighten it up. After we do this at all 4 corners, we just need to add the end caps and the final bars. These end caps slide into the end of the frame and create a mounting location for the final bar. Tightening this thumb screw secures the whole fixture in place. Once the screws are all secure, we need to connect the octopus cable. Each LED bar has a little cable, and they connect to the octopus cable with a simple push and twist. You can see how this design will provide the flexibility to slide the bars along the frame. They provide cables and 2 ratchet pulleys, but I'll use 4 ratchet pulleys for the par test. They clip into the eye bolts that I added to the frame. One of the big benefits of this design is that it really cuts down on the bulk and weight of the fixture. It's very light and easy to raise up. Of course, you could mount the driver on top, but they give you a long cable, so there's no need. I connected the cable and plugged it in. Let me flip the switch and we have light. Let's take a good look at the diodes. As I explained, there are a lot of diodes. I consider 3 diodes per watt to be a decent number, and the FC-E6500 has over 6 diodes per watt. They are customized high-efficiency diodes designed and made for Mars-Hydro. They include diodes with different spectra. The full-spectrum diodes are a mix of 3000K and 5000K. They also include red diodes at 660 nanometers. Just like the driver, the quality of the diodes should reveal itself during the par test. They claim the diodes are as efficient as Samsung diodes. We'll see. I have to let them warm up and stabilize before the test. While we wait, let's check out the product page for the new Mars-Hydro FC-E6500. We can find data here that we can plug into the Coco for Cannabis grow light calculator to estimate the performance. First of all, the price jumps out at me. The FC-6500 costs almost $1,000, but the list price for the FC-E6500 is only $770, and we have a discount code. For the best deals on Mars-Hydro fixtures, shop marshydro.com and use discount code CCFC. Just like the FC-6500, they claim the FC-E6500 draws 650 watts. And here you see they state the photon efficiency is 2.7 micromoles per watt. I saw the sphere test data, and this is a measured total photon efficiency, not just a calculated value. Let's run these numbers through the Coco for Cannabis grow light calculator. This is our tool to help growers analyze grow lights. In the calculator on the left, you can enter your own data. In the calculator on the right, we load all our tested fixtures. I'll pull up the data from my test with the Mars-Hydro FC-6500. You can see it had a usable ppf of 1477.7 micromoles, at an efficiency of 2.38 micromoles per watt. These are elite numbers. If you use discount code CCFC on the Mars-Hydro website, the current cost for the FC-6500 is $950. I'll enter the data for the FC-E6500 in the calculator on the left. The power draw is listed at 650 watts. With discount code CCFC, your cost will be about $750. And then we need to enter the data about the PPF, or photon efficiency. The calculator provides options for different types of PPF data. The data we got from Mars-Hydro is from a sphere test. It is total PPF. They state a total photon efficiency of 2.7 micromoles per watt. Yeah, wow. Most of these numbers are really similar. The estimated usable PPF is higher, but that will come down to the actual power draw. The calculator expects the two fixtures will have a very similar photon efficiency. The biggest difference in the stats is clearly the price. 64 cents per micromole is a good price, but 49 cents is jaw-dropping. If the FC-E6500 can really compete with the FC-6500, then it's going to be an amazing deal. I have the FC-E6500 set up in a 150 by 150 centimeter test area, which is just about 5 by 5 feet. I'm making sure that it's perfectly centered and level. The hanging height is only 30 centimeters, about 12 inches, and the maximum PPFD is just off center here at exactly 1,000 micromoles per square meter. I'm excited to see how the FC-E6500 performs in the PAR test. In a PAR test, I measure the PPFD, or photon density, in each square in the grid. I use an Apogee SQ500 quantum sensor, which is designed to measure the PAR photons. Photon densities between 500 and 1,000 micromoles per square meter are ideal for cannabis plants. I set the maximum PPFD to be exactly 1,000 by manipulating the hanging height. At that height, a fixture should be able to keep the full coverage area above 500 micromoles per square meter. But that's incredibly difficult in a 5 by 5 grow space. Here in position 1, the bars look almost evenly distributed. But remember, they are slightly closer together along the top and bottom. The diodes are also spread out toward the ends of each bar. Those factors are helping to create a more uniform distribution of light. But the hanging height here is really low. The PPFD values under the fixture are great, but along the edges the values drop below the ideal threshold. Let's check out the PAR map from this official Position 1 test. Overall, this is really good for a 5 by 5 PAR map. The sides are both below 500 micromoles per square meter, but there are great densities from top to bottom. With a fixture like this, we need to understand the precise bar placements in order to analyze the map and make potential adjustments. I added the image in the upper right corner to show bar placement and fixture orientation. I added the arrows along the sides to indicate the locations of the bars, but I can do one better. This is to scale and shows exactly where the fixture in each bar was positioned during the test. The area below the fixture is very dense. The light is evenly distributed, and these are all excellent PPFD values. Outside the shadow of the fixture, the PPFD values are lower. The densities at the top and bottom of the map are all great. As you can see, these squares are all along the broad side of the LED bars. But the ends and corners are all below the 500 micromole per square meter threshold. Remember, they concentrate diodes at the ends of each bar, but it's not enough to get adequate light to the sides at this hanging height. Of course, we can reposition the bars from top to bottom, but I'm not sure that will help to improve the sides. To get better density light out to the sides, I'll probably have to raise the fixture a little higher. I have more tests to run, but first, let's run the numbers on this one. As we saw, the distribution of diodes away from the center of the fixture allows the FC-E6500 to have a low hanging height. At 30 centimeters, about 12 inches above the sensor, the maximum PPFD was 1,000 micromoles per square meter. The average PPFD across this PAR map is 692.1 micromoles per square meter, which is close to ideal and impressive for a 5 by 5 test. That average means that the FC-E6500 delivered a usable PPF of 1,557.2 micromoles. That is a lot of light. The FC-6500 had a usable PPF of only 1,478 micromoles. The power draw on this test was 642 watts. which means that the usable photon efficiency is a jaw-dropping 2.43 micromoles per watt. This is among the most efficient fixtures currently on the market. That answers a lot of questions about the diodes and the driver. And the FC-E6500 is even better than the FC-6500, but it costs $200 less. Okay, I'm really curious to see what the par map will look like with the bars in position 2. Adjusting the bars is easy and can be done with the fixture hanging. Just loosen the wingtip screws on the bar you want to move, and it will slide along the track. Be sure to tighten them down again, as each bar helps hold the whole fixture together. To switch from position 1 to position 2, we only adjust 2 bars, but many other arrangements are possible. Your imagination and the octopus cable are the only limitations. Let me turn it back on. I'll make sure the diodes stabilize again before the next test. I've been pretty intrigued by position 2, but after looking at the position 1 map, I'm not sure we're going to benefit from moving so much light to the top and the bottom of the fixture like this. As we saw with position 1, the densities were lowest along the edges, and in this position, the edges seem even more sparsely lit. I'll have to run the test to know for sure. The diodes are stable again, and I'm trying to locate the hotspot. I'm not surprised to find it well down here. It's close to where the 2 bars are closest together, and it's actually a little over 1000 micromoles per square meter. I'm going to have to raise the fixture a couple centimeters to set up this official test. I wasn't expecting this, but it's not totally surprising. The hanging height is really quite low, only 12 inches above the sensor, so the densest light is directly below the bars. If the fixture was hung even higher, the densest light would be in the middle. Okay, a 2 centimeter adjustment brought the maximum PPFD back down to 1000 micromoles per square meter. The hanging height is 32 centimeters, about 12.5 inches. I'm making sure that it's still centered and square, and we're off on another par test. I'm curious to see this par map, but there are a few things that we can safely predict now. Obviously, we expect the PPFD values at the top and the bottom of the map to improve. The center will be less dense, but it should still all be in the maximum production zone. The sides are a question, but I don't see how they could be better in this position. In addition to the changes in distribution, we can also predict how this will affect the overall performance. I expect the usable PPF will be slightly lower in this test. For one, I had to raise the fixture by a couple of centimeters, but also, I moved the sources of light closer to the walls. Both of those changes will result in more photons hitting the walls and reflecting, so we'll have slightly more reflective loss with this setup, and that will result in a lower usable PPF. In this case, it should be only a slight difference, but this is one of the trade-offs between distribution and efficiency. Let's check out this position 2 par map. Okay, this map looks about what I expected. It's notable for the strip of high-density values from top to bottom in the center of the map. The corners are higher than in the position 1 test, but as I thought, the values along the sides did not improve. In this test, the fixture and the bars were positioned like this. The hotspot was all the way down here below these 2 bars. Again, everywhere under the fixture has excellent density. This is an even spread of high-density light. Comparing this to the position 1 par map, you can see that the values in this area of the map shift around but stay within the same basic range. With the position 1 map, the issue is the perimeter. The top and bottom of the map are fine, but the sides are low. In position 2, this issue is exacerbated. The top and bottom are even better in position 2 than they were in position 1. But the values along the sides in position 1 were low, and in position 2, they're even lower. We cannot move light toward those sides. The only way to improve the distribution there will be to raise the fixture. But first, let's run the numbers on this position 2 test. As we saw, in position 2, I had to raise the FC-E6500 to 32 centimeters, about 12.5 inches, in order to keep the maximum PPFD at 1000 micromoles per square meter. I predicted that slightly less light would reach the canopy in this test, and indeed, the average PPFD dropped slightly to 687.4 micromoles per square meter. That means the usable PPF in this test was 1546.5 micromoles. We only lost about 9 micromoles versus position 1. The power draw was still 642 watts, but with slightly less light reaching the canopy, the usable photon efficiency is slightly lower. It was 2.41 micromoles per watt during this test. But don't be confused. These are truly excellent numbers. And both of these are excellent 5x5 par maps. But I don't think they're the best maps that the FC-E6500 can make. Of course, other bar arrangements are possible, but if we want to move more light out to the sides, we need to raise the fixture higher. I raised the FC-E6500 to 42 centimeters, about 16.5 inches, and ran tests with the fixture here in position 2 and also with the fixture in position 1. Raising the fixture will help the distribution out to the sides regardless of the bar position. Light naturally spreads out from its source following the inverse square rule. With more distance between the fixture and the canopy, more light will reach the edges and the distribution will be more even. But a higher hanging height also exposes more wall and results in more photons hitting the wall. As you will see, this is going to result in a lower usable ppf. We considered the same issue with moving the two bars to position 2. Getting more light to the edges also means we lose more light to reflection. It's an unavoidable trade-off. The key is striking the best balance. And the cool thing about the FCE series is that they give you the ability to adjust. Let's check out the par maps from these raised tests. First, we have the position 2 map. Again, we have great densities from top to bottom, but the two sides are still below 500 micromoles per square meter. The raised par map in position 1 seems better. There is an even spread of light across the canopy, and we get most of the edges above 500 micromoles per square meter. However, the corners in the position 1 map have lower values than in the position 2 map at the same height. To better understand this, it helps to see the fixture. Here in position 2, the pairs of bars at the top and bottom contribute to higher ppfd values everywhere along the top and bottom, including the corners. But there are fewer bars to deliver light along the sides. In position 1, the values are lower at the top and bottom, but in the middle of the map, there are more bars and more light. In this position, the sides are able to break over the 500 micromole per square meter threshold. Of the 4 tests that I ran so far, this seems like the best par map, but let's run the numbers on these 2 raised tests. The hanging height for both tests was 42 centimeters, about 16.5 inches. In position 1, the maximum ppfd was 899 micromoles per square meter. In position 2, the maximum ppfd was 868. The average ppfd in position 1 was 670.3 micromoles per square meter. It was slightly lower in position 2 at 667.2. We saw the same pattern between positions in the official tests. The usable ppf at this height in position 1 was 1,508.2 micromoles. In position 2, we got 1,501.3. These are both about 50 micromoles less than we got in the official tests. The power draw was consistent throughout my testing at 642 watts. So the raised position 1 test has a usable photon efficiency of 2.35 micromoles per watt, and the raised position 2 test has a usable photon efficiency of 2.34. Again, I need to stress that these are incredible numbers, and really excellent par maps. Of course, at the official hanging heights of 30 and 32 centimeters, the statistics are even better. 1,557 micromoles at 2.43 micromoles per watt is just impressive. But the distribution across the par maps is clearly better when we raise the fixture to 42 centimeters. But 42 centimeters may not be the sweetest spot, and I think there may be other arrangements of bars that could work even better than these 2 positions. I bet at this point many of you have ideas about how the bars should be placed and how high it should be hung. I want to hear them, and I'm going to give you a chance to win this fixture. Come with me to the test report page, and I'll show you how. I publish these test report pages for each fixture that I test. They include all the data and the maps from the par tests, and my written review. Here's the main data from the official position 1 par test. You can find our discount codes and shopping links. If you want the best prices on Mars-Hydro equipment, Shop Mars-Hydro.com and use discount code CCFC. With our discount, the FC-E6500 will cost only about $750. That gives it a cost efficiency of only 48 cents per micromole, which is really an excellent price. It's one of the best deals for quality horticultural lighting that I've seen. Below this area, you'll find the detailed PAR test data and the official PAR map. The other maps are included below. If you have a larger space, you can use this calculator to determine how many FC-E6500s you'd need for full coverage. And below that, you'll find my written review. The new Mars-Hydro FC-E6500 is another game changer. The adjustable bar position is a huge selling point. I'm thrilled to see this innovation. I often think about repositioning the bars when I'm testing a fixture. This is the first fixture where that is actually possible. I really like the elegance of the design and how the fixture comes together. It's easy to set up and to reposition the bars. I'm really impressed with the performance and the price. At 2.43 micromoles per watt, it ties for the most efficient production model fixture that I have tested. But at 48 cents per micromole, it's among the least expensive bar array fixtures on the market. We had questions about the driver and the diodes, but they both performed exceptionally well in the tests. The hottest temperatures that I measured were 57.1 degrees Celsius, 134.8 Fahrenheit, on the driver, and 59 degrees Celsius, 138.2 Fahrenheit, on the LED bars. The 4 tests that I did reveal some interesting patterns, and we can learn a lot about the physics of light by studying them. With infinitely adjustable bar positions, there may be an alternative arrangement and hanging height that would produce an even better PAR map. I'm curious what you think would be the best. So I'm hosting a Create the Best PAR Map with the Mars-Hydro FC-E6500 giveaway. I explain all the rules here at the bottom of the test report, and you can use this form to enter your suggestions. The form will be available until June 15, 2021. I'll select 5 of the suggested setups and run those tests. The grower who suggests the setup that generates the best PAR map will win the Mars-Hydro FC-E6500 that I'm testing. I'll publish a follow-up report and video documenting these tests and announcing the winner in July 2021. Read about the rules and enter your suggested setup here on the test report page. If you already missed the giveaway, be sure to watch the video of those 5 tests. In my opinion, the new FC-E6500 is the best fixture that Mars-Hydro has produced. It has an industry-leading efficiency along with the ability to customize the distribution. On top of that, it has one of the absolute best prices on the market. At Coco for Cannabis, we always put the grower's interests first. Our goal is to provide impartial, science-based testing and reviews for home growers. We do not get paid for testing lights, but we do earn commissions when you make purchases using our codes. You can support our work simply by using our discount codes when you purchase grow lights. I'd like to thank Sean at Mars-Hydro for sending me the FC-E6500 to test. And thank you for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Check out my other PAR test reports and grow light physics videos. I hope you come to visit us at cocoforcannabis.com. You can read our articles, chat with our community, browse the grow light test reports, and try your hand at the grow light calculator. Remember to enter the Create the Best PAR Map giveaway, and you can win other lights by participating in our grow challenges and strain review giveaways. Grow your own, but don't grow alone. Let's grow together. I'm Dr. MJ Coco, sending all of you grower love.